All right, if everyone will take your seat, we're ready to begin with Florida. A couple of quick announcements. A reminder, please have your cell phones off or on silent. As soon as we complete the session with Coach McElwain, we'll have a photo op, a still photo op, and a video photo op with both coaches and the trophy up here, and then we will continue on with Coach Saban. Also a reminder, Commissioner Sankey will have a press conference in this room today at 3:30, so you're certainly welcome to attend that. And Florida's practice today will be at 4:30. First 15 minutes will be open to media. We'll ask Coach McElwain for some general thoughts on his team entering the game, and then we'll take your questions. Coach?
Sure. They wouldn't let you in with it?
You forgot to get a credential.
Yeah, I told you should have got 2 credentials. Sorry, that's a little local media humor there. So, how's everybody doing today? All right? Guys, excited to not only get back here, but excited to go out and perform tomorrow. Our guys have been through a ton, and yet, you know what? They've really overcome and learned a bunch about who they are and what they're all about. And tomorrow we get to go test ourselves against the best. Looking forward to that. Obviously, this being the 25th year anniversary, it makes it even a little bit special, a little bit more special. And with the 2 teams that are playing in it, that kicked this whole thing off. I think, in fact, Coach Spurrier, Coach Stallings, and I'll call him Coach Kramer because I remember when he was coaching at Central Michigan, I believe it was, are all back here to celebrate this event. And I think that that's something really special. And to see all the MVPs that have come back, what this game means to so many, not only football fans, but, for all the players that have ever played in the SEC conference, to be able to be part of this event is something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And you know what? Can't wait for tomorrow to get here. Questions?
Okay, if you have a question, raise your hand and we'll get a floor microphone to you. Let's start on the left in the back.
Jim, Jeff Spiegel from WBMA in Birmingham. As a former quarterbacks coach, former offensive coordinator, what Lane Kiffin has done in position to win a 3rd straight SEC title with 3 different starting quarterbacks, what does that say about his ability?
Well, he's a good ball coach, and he's got a lot of good coaches around him as well. Obviously, what they've done, with those quarterbacks, and in particular with this freshman quarterback and how they've adapted to his game and how that quarterback has adapted to what they are asking him to do. They've done a great job of highlighting the people around him. Obviously the explosive plays really show. And more so, adapting to how this quarterback's game not only beat you with his arm, but really with his feet. When you look at their rushing totals, you may say it's a down year for their running backs. Well, you lump his, 900 yards in there, whatever the heck it is. It seems to me like a pretty up year for their running backs. So he's done a great job.
Hands up, other questions? All right, let's go to the front. Go ahead.
Barrett Sallee, Bleacher Report. Jim,
Yeah,
speaking of Jalen, what have you seen from him, specifically from his composure against some of the better defenses he's played this year?
You know what? I love watching this guy. He nothing ever bothers him. You know what I'm saying? And when you see that in a player like that, I think it speaks not only for him getting there, and being part of that thing early. Let's not, lose track of those guys that are actually now graduating a little early and coming for spring practice. That is a huge advantage. In fact, we've got a bunch of those guys playing for us this year, not at the quarterback position, but obviously at other spots. But really, I think being a son of a coach, growing up around it, and understanding that, whatever just happened, learn from it and move on. Don't let it affect you. I've never seen him even in any way show the emotion, of disappointment, even when something goes not great. And he's a great player now and going to be a great player in this conference, for the years to come.
Okay, we've got two questions on the aisle right here. Go ahead, the first one.
Yeah, Coach, just what are your thoughts on what Alabama's like accomplishing right now, this 24-game winning streak, just the dominance?
No, it's a credit, obviously, to Coach. It's a credit to their university. It's a credit to, what they have committed to and given the ability to go be great. I mean, they've never said no, and yet what it's done for that university and that brand since Coach has been there has been unbelievable. But give the credit to him, because what he has built and being able to do it in this conference day in and day out, year in and year out, with the amount of guys that they get to leave and they go to the NFL, he just keeps replacing them. And you know what? That's not only credit to Coach, but it's a credit to the commitment of the whole university, their fan base, and the people associated with the organization have put in to make it what it is.
You know,
you have a follow-up?
This is an achievement for a lot of schools to get here, and a milestone even for some. But is it almost just kind of like an expectation? I mean, for him, you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's an expectation for the Florida Gators. I mean, first thing when we got here is I don't know that we haven't played as much as anybody in this game, and I think for both programs to be here on the 25th anniversary, I think is huge. But you come to the University of Florida, the expectation is to go play in Atlanta, and that's something our guys have done. And likewise, you want to win a championship. This is that first step in winning that championship.
Okay, we'll take the next question right on the aisle, and then we'll come to the other side. Go ahead.
Coach, I know you don't read the message boards or anything, but Coach Nussmeier gets a lot of criticism from the fan base. I'm just wondering, can you talk about the job he's done and
Sure.
just evaluate?
He's done an outstanding job based on the hands we were dealt when we got here, and figuring out those parts and those pieces, and giving us opportunities to win ball games. Has been really good. Obviously, there's things that need to be continually tweaked and looked at. And you know what? The one thing I do know is our guys play their tails off, and that's great to see. It'll be a constant evolution as we move forward as to how we go about it.
Okay, question on the right. Go ahead.
Jim, what's Jared Davis looking like as far as how much work do you think he'll get
Yeah.
tomorrow? And even if he's in there for something less than a full-time role, will that be an emotional lift?
No, there's
for
no
defense?
doubt about it. And I expect him to play. There's certain guys that you coach and you're around as your career goes on. He's one of those guys that if there's even a little opportunity, he's going to do everything he can to be out there. And part of him coming back to school, helping himself as he goes, getting his degree as he promised his mother, was to come back and be a part of a championship team. And he's going to be a part of that. And that's what's great.
Question on the left side.
Hey, Coach, Ken
how are you?
Rogers with the
Yeah.
Dothan Eagle. How you doing?
How you doing, bud?
Doing well. Hey, this is the first year that we've had a repeat, Alabama, Florida, since 08, 09.
Yeah.
And you were on that 08, 09 end of it from Alabama's perspective. And I'm taking you way back, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Losing in 08, what kind of fuel did that provide for 09? And are there corollaries for this year?
It's really, I don't know about the losing, but really understanding the experience, and more so what you're maybe able to do to help yourself be successful when hopefully that next event comes up. And in our case, that next event was the following year. I remember right, we were a little bit of a surprise in 08, just kind of how we went about our business, and then being able to get back here, getting a taste of it, and being able to get back here. I know that was something our guys were driven to do, and we were fortunate enough to come out on the front end of that one.
Got a couple of hands. We'll come back to you in a minute. A couple of hands in the back. Go ahead.
Hey, Alan Cole, Sports Illustrated Kids. What's the most important thing for you guys to do early in this game to kind of put the disappointment of last week behind you?
You know, there's a lot of things that you learn as a competitor, and one of them is learn from your past failures to help you be successful in the future. That game was put behind us a long time ago. We got off the bus at about 3:45 in the morning on Sunday, and as I told them, everybody got off the bus, okay, it's over. All right, we got to move on. We're playing in the SEC championship. Let's go put a great piece of work together, and our guys have done that, and they're excited about coming out and playing tomorrow.
Question on the left side. Go ahead.
Don Stinson, DNA Sports Talk. First of all, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. What are 3 key aspects that you're looking for from your team tomorrow?
3 key aspects. I think first and foremost, don't blink. Don't blink. See what you see and go get it. And whatever you do, in doing that, don't ever back down. Don't back down to anything. I think the 3 things probably is what we look for is you can't give them any cheap ones. So the turnover piece is obviously huge. You know, limiting explosive plays and not allowing the sudden strikes that show up quite a bit. And, you know, taking care of your opportunities when they're there. Those are the biggest things we've got to do.
We've got a question on this side on the back, and then we've got one in the middle over here, and then we'll come down.
Hey, Coach,
to the
Paul
end.
Newberry from Associated Press.
Paul.
A couple of things back to Coach Saban. One, as somebody who worked with him, beyond just going out and getting the best players, best assistants, what kind of stands out to you as the reason he's been able to maintain this level of success? And a follow to that, is it tough now that you're on the other side? Does it almost feel like you're playing for crumbs, like a lot of the SEC? That he just what he occasionally doesn't win it all might be something there, but I don't know how frustrating that is, and is that a?
It really isn't. In being part of it, I was really fortunate because I was able to see a commitment, an understanding of the organization, and what it takes on a daily basis to help yourself have the opportunity to be successful. And that isn't just football now. It's about anything you do in life. And yet the one thing that's really unique there is the overall commitment of the people around Coach Saban that has allowed him to build the organization, build the infrastructure, build the things, and total support in him to be able to go out and be successful. And, you know, that commitment is something that is like no other. And, you know, I think you just even take a look at even when he arrived in the overall university enrollment that has gone up. I mean, I think some of the Alabama guys in here could probably speak to that a little bit better. That name and brand recognition and what he's done and what it's brought for the state of Alabama and the University of Alabama. But being able to be part of seeing how he built that and that commitment from everybody that touches his desk to the same focused point of what it's going to be. And, you know, I've heard coaches put it, it's about being in alignment. Everything's got to be in alignment. Everything's got to be aligned. And that's one thing he was ahead of his time as far as making sure everybody was aligned. And, you know, it was a fascinating working experience. Well, here's a good thing. We were able to go to Colorado State and impart some of that and get that thing jumped around in you know, a pretty short fashion. I'm really proud of what we're doing right now at the University of Florida. A lot of those same principles and values of being successful. You know, we're at a great place now. We have the same opportunity to go be able to do that. And, you know, that's what's good. And seeing where we're at, we're a long ways from getting to where we're going to be. And yet, you know what, we probably got here a lot quicker than a lot of people maybe even thought. And I can attribute that to a lot of the things that I was able to learn from Coach along the way.
Let's take that last question.
Pardon me?
You don't consider them obviously your opponent unbeatable, like a team. As long
No, it's not unbeatable at all. I mean, no. That's, last time I checked, I think we're a pretty good football team.
Say question on the right side.
Coach, Aaron Suttles, Tuscaloosa News.
Where you at, Aaron? There you are.
Hey, you prepared for this Alabama defense last year. They got a pretty stout front seven. They lost several of those guys, but is it possible they're better?
Yeah,
up front this
I
year?
actually talked to Coach about that today at the luncheon deal we were at, that they're different. In what I mean by that, the speed that they have right now is better than I've ever seen. And they still have those big guys in there when they need them. But really, the overall team speed is something that I think has really stood out to me as we spent the week watching them, and a couple crossover games that you get when you're working in the season. So yeah, and Jeremy has picked up right where Kirby was. He brought some things that were unique to what he did at Georgia. And obviously fit him into that system. So I'll give him a lot of credit, too, for what he's doing to adapting to the players that they're putting out there on defense.
Okay, question down front. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Austin Appleby, how do you feel about, since he's been back in as the starter, how do you feel about how he's played, the things that you've liked, and what maybe you've hoping he's going to step up a little bit with?
I think here's the thing I love about Austin is he's a guy who prepares as well as any quarterback I've been around. And really the big key there is going to be, don't chase ghosts, don't see ghosts. You're prepared, you know what to do. Now go ahead and let it loose. And I expect him to do that tomorrow.
Another question down front. Go ahead.
Jim, you said that you guys have maybe gotten back here quicker than most people expected. When you got here, what was your expectation? I know the goal is to get here, but when you kind of evaluated the roster, what hurdles have you kind of had to climb to get here?
Well, someday when I'm retired, sitting on the dock at Flathead Lake, I'll probably look back and think about that. Right now, we've got a task at hand, and that's to go win this football game. It's interesting, the goal piece. Everybody, you set goals to go achieve goals and that kind of thing, and yet understanding that goals only happen when you're willing to invest and you're willing to do it every single day to go achieve something. I've seen this football team understand what that is through some things and through some adversity that I'm really proud of. They could have sacked their bats, gone home a while back. You know what? They didn't. And I'm proud of them.
Question on the aisle. Go ahead.
Thomas Goldkamp with 24/7 Sports. I know you guys came into the year really expecting the tight ends to be a big potential mismatch. What are some of the reasons why they maybe haven't, been quite as explosive as you thought they might be?
I think part of it's been that they've been a little bit nicked up here and there. It's called the way it is. And yet, flip side of that is, the different formational things we do. They've done some really good things. We've had some drops, and had some things occur that way. Yet at the same time, they're a big part of what we do, and we plan on it moving forward.
Got a question down front on the right here. Go ahead.
Coach, Appleby opened up on Monday, said he was very confident in the game plan going in. How important will it be to adapt during the game?
Well, anytime you face Nick Saban, Jeremy Pruitt defense, you're going to see something you've never seen. You're going to see something from the archives that's been sitting there that they're just ready to pull out versus a certain thing. And, I know. I've been there. I've lived it. I used to go and practice against it and hear them say, hey, what about that one? I didn't see it in the install, right? Which made you really sharp as a coach to be able to adjust and adapt to what you're going to be able, or what you are going to be able to see. The one thing I know that they do a great job of studying your personnel and attacking those weaknesses. So we've got to do a great job to see what in their vision, are the weaknesses, and then be able to adjust off of that.
Question on the left aisle. Go ahead.
Coach, is it flattering or insulting that you're being mentioned for the Oregon job? Flattering in the fact that you're being mentioned, or insulting that people would think that you would want to go there?
Wow. That's a great way to put it. You know, I think anytime, I think what's pretty cool is anytime anybody kind of likes you. Growing up where I grew up, not a lot of people like you. So I think having that opportunity where they really care about you, if it is the case, I mean, I don't know. You read more than I do about it, but to be mentioned, you know, I got my hunch maybe somebody in recruiting is trying to throw that out there because, you know, we got some early signees coming up. But I think anytime somebody takes notice, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, certainly doesn't hurt my feelings, I guess, is what you're asking. So,
A question on the right side? Go ahead.
you got the best stuff, man. I enjoy it. I do. Hey, in case you guys don't know, but this guy's stuff, he's got a great wit and a great sense of humor and unbelievable sarcasm is why I kind of like him. So I love it. I love it. I do. I'm serious. I know. Well, that's up to you guys. I don't know. So.
Go ahead.
This won't be as good.
What is that? The old disclaimer that we talk about? You know? All right. How you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
You talked about how they were pretty creative in the way they were able to come up with defensive schemes. How challenging is that for you to maybe think of something different, kind of creative, maybe special for this kind of game?
Well, I think one of the things that you do, and, you know, I even go back to when we played them when we were at Colorado State. Some of the things that I know at least kept them up there for an extra 10 or 15 minutes, you know, that might mess with their matches or whatever that is, you know, whatever those things are. So doing a little bit of that, trying to keep them off balance from that standpoint and not letting them zero in and target, you know, what you're going to do is really going to be the key.
Question on the left?
You mentioned the recruiting aspect of the coaching rumors. I guess how do you deal with that from a recruiting standpoint? And at what point do you, or does it have to reach a certain level where you're like, all right, we do have to address this with our recruits that I'm not going to Oregon or whatever the rumor is at the time?
You know, rumors are out there. I remember even when we were at Alabama with Coach about, you know, every year he was going to Texas or the NFL, I think, you know, and they would drag the NFL thing on because the NFL thing was so late. You know, trying to make sure that never happened. And, you know, that's the beauty. Free world, man. People can do whatever they want and say whatever they want. I know how excited I am to be a Gator.
Hands up, other questions? All right, let's go to the right side in the front.
Coach, a couple times this week you've mentioned the infrastructure that Nick Saban's been able to have at Alabama. Where are you with that at Florida, and how far have you come as far as getting that set up?
I think that commitment is there. I think the recognition of what they have built is there. You know, where is it right now? You know, that's I know that we're talking about it. I know that we've gotten a commitment to get some things built. Here's the great thing. We're talking about having a 1 year, a 3 year, a 5 year, a 7 year, a 9 year, a 10 year plan. So you can actually see it all develop, and you know, that's a good thing. And it's exciting to be a part of that.
Hands up, other questions for Coach? Raise your hand. Anyone? All right, thank you very much. A reminder, we will have a photo op
You just got, they just, no, he already cut it off, man. I mean, if you, go ahead, shoot it out there.
Last question.
This better be good now. I'm holding everything up.
I appreciate
and one thing I do know, don't hold Coach Saban up. So this better be good, okay?
Right. Scott Ravelay from the Baton Rouge Advocate. There's a perception out there with Alabama's success that there's a separation between them and the rest of the conference. Your team having won this division twice in a row is quite an achievement. Do you see that, or do you think it's just one of those years where they're a little bit ahead of everybody else?
Look, they got good players, and here's the thing: they've done it, and they keep building. Here's the one thing I think people don't realize is once they start one thing, they're already finishing it and going to another, and that's the great thing about sustainability in what Coach has built, man, is it's sustainable, and that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thanks.